going on, guys, and welcome to the Bench is Clear podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants, who went an even 3-3 last week. That's not if you're including tonight, which they're going to win tonight. They're beating the Rockies, so I'm going to go 4-3. Confidence is the key.
I'm Tyler Cohen. I represent the side of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who went a cool 5-1 last week. And if we include tonight, we're up 6-2 in the seventh. I'm going to call it a 6-1. I'm calling number one seed in the playoffs, 8th straight division title. Calling it. The champagne is about to pop, my friends.
Yeah, eat up the champagne while
this year.
There it's going to be out. They're going to have it. Eat it up while you can, because you're only going to win maybe one, maybe two rounds, and then you're going to be crying again how they choke.
Is this going to be your little plug for the we're coming? This is the one
we're
time
coming
this year you
we're
can
coming.
say that.
We are definitely coming. We are like mid-come.
I doubt it.
Anyways, we're going to break down last week really quick. Giants dominated Seattle. Absolute crazy offense. The offense that we know in 2020. And then looking nothing less than awful in Oakland. Couldn't get anything done until the last game, man. But picked it up in the last game, ended up scoring like 14. It just sucks because this offense is starting to dip, and it's making me get flashbacks, and the series is starting to bleed into the Rocky series, losing the first game. Didn't seem like they can get anything going. But looking at the positives, Big Dick was a triple short of the cycle, first day back from being a father. As we're talking about positives, Gausman and Smiley looking great. Anderson, after his brush up with the umpires, had a good start. Cueto looks a little bit I'm a little concerned with Cueto right now, honestly. It's also kind of his first start back from first year back from Tommy John, technically. I mean, he only had 2 starts last year, something like that. So a little concerning, but hey, what can you do? Got to take 3 or 4. Let's go. Last week sucked. Kind of. We have an over 500 record this week, so let's go. Yeah. Stud and dud of the week. We're going stud. B-Craw for the Giants side. 6 for 18, 3 walks, 2 bombs, 1 Grandy. Grandy slam looking – he was expected to be really shitty, and his defense is back to being really good. Obviously, probably not as good technically as it was before, Gold Glove wise, but he's still a plus defender out there. So, got to give it up for the week he's having with the bat. One of the best offensive years he's ever had. I know it's a shortened season, but I don't give a fuck. He's also like 34, so that's going against him. And to talk about the dud of this week, I'm just going to do the entire Giants defense. Because what the fuck, bro? I mean, we had John Boy even did a video. Yeah, 3 missed fly balls in a row. And I don't really want to pick on Dubon too much because his defensive metrics are great. He's looked really good in center field, but that was a pretty bad misplay. And, no excuse for that. Darren Ruff, he's just a bat, and Dickerson was out. Yastrzemski's out, so like they had to put him out there. I get it. But Donovan Solano, bro, come on. You're killing me with this shit. I don't understand why we don't put Flores out there instead of him and let Solano DH. Doesn't make sense to me. I can't imagine Flores being, worse out there. They need to tighten it up if they want to fully come at the right time.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're coming. Yeah,
we are coming.
I fucking doubt it. For the Dodgers, like I said, 5-1 last week. When we were recording the podcast last week, I was pretty worried. We had lost the game.
You got a care in the world
to the Padres the day before, and it looked like the world was kind of collapsing in on us. We took the last 2 of the series. We took the first 3 out of 4 from Colorado, and I believe, I haven't looked it over, but I know if we win tonight, we clinch the division, which who gives a shit. But I also think we lock up the number 1 seed, which is a little bit more important. And then we got to win a couple more games to lock up home field advantage throughout the World Series. You got to get the
last outs, last at bats. That's huge no matter what.
So
not as big of an advantage, but it's still an advantage,
Yeah, absolutely. It's the only advantage anyone's going to get this postseason.
Yeah, and it turns out, Tyler, you just need to single somebody out and talk shit about them, because 2 podcasts in a row, whoever you talk shit about, technically did their job. I know Jansen wasn't a great closer and wasn't shut down, but he still did his job. So if you're planning on betting, listen to whoever Tyler talks shit about. Put whatever type of money you got to put on to fantasy drafts on that person because they're going to be great.
Well, I just think that speaks to how many players actually listen to our podcast and value my opinion.
That's true.
Clearly, there's a few.
Yes.
Speaking of which,
because Jansen was mid close, and he was like, Tyler said, "What? Fuck that guy."
He probably puts on the podcast while he's working out.
That's scientific. That's scientific evidence
extra
right
reps
there.
Because he's so pissed. But I'm pretty sure I've called out Cody Bellinger for being the dud of the week recently, which brings us to stud and dud of this week.
Stud and dud of the week.
And I'm going, Mookie Betts is the best player on the team. He had the best week, but I'm going to give the stud to Cody Bellinger because over his last 7 games, he's batted .320. The bat's finally waking up, so I'm giving it to Cody. And if we're going dud of the week, I'm giving it to Max Muncy, probably for the multiple time or the third time this year, because he's just not there this season. Although he did hit a home run tonight, which is nice, but he's batting in his last 7 games. He's batting under $190. He's batting under $190 for the season. I mean, it's just not – he's not pulling his weight.
Yeah.
So he needs to pick it up for the playoffs. But once he does, I mean, we're really firing on all cylinders and hopefully can get that ever-elusive World Series championship.
Getting ready to get knocked out in either the second or third round. Which one is it going to be? I don't think they're going to get knocked out first round because they were knocked out first round last year. I think that's too much. But it's just not going to happen. Everything's too perfect for them to win. No, it's just not going to happen.
No, it's not perfect. If anything, this is the year to win a World Series. Okay? It was a shortened season, so you're going to have assholes to be like, oh, it doesn't count. But also, am I going to enjoy it? Absolutely. Am I going to cry like a little baby bitch? Absolutely. But would have I preferred to see it with fans in the stadium and actually go potentially? Of course. But
definitely.
I'll take whatever I can get.
And that's understandable, but at the same time, everyone's had the same chance. You know what I mean? So to if anyone says this is not a real World Series, it's like, well, what advantage did they have? They didn't have an advantage, so it's a real World Series because everyone competed. Yeah. If you look at it in the grand scheme of things of is it equal to a World – like it's the 2020 World Series. Whoever wins it, wins it. That's the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And that transitions us to our fuck you of the week. It's going to go to these sensitive baby back bitch MLB umpires who are struggling to keep their job because everyone wants to replace them with robot umps. I don't. I like the human element of the game. I like umpires, but the thing is they need to stop being so soft. Josh Donaldson, he should have been kicked out for kicking dirt on the plate. I get it. That was over.
Awesome.
But the thing is, the leading up to it, they're getting mad at Josh Donaldson for asking if the strike was on the swing or the pit or on the pitch when the pitch is a foot outside the zone. Like, come on, dude. You need to know those things in the game. So that, and then the Tyler Anderson thing. Oh my gosh, dude.
That was ridiculous.
He yells at the umpire once. I get it. He goes, "Hey, stop it." Turns around, goes to the mound, says something, and not even louder. There's no fans there, so you can hear everything. Not loud enough for you to even hear. And he gets tossed right then in the third inning of the game. It's ridiculous, and I think that's just going to give a really compelling argument why there should be robot umps. And I don't want that, but MLB umpires, you guys make millennials look like they have tough skin. I don't like saying that because I'm a millennial with tough skin, I feel like, but I don't know. They're just sensitive and soft, and I hate it.
Yeah. But, I mean, dude, the Josh Donaldson thing, I've never seen anything like that. That was
great. Yeah.
So, and the best
and at first, I thought I was mad, but I was like, dude, he deserved to get kicked out for that.
Oh, of course. You can't show up an umpire like that. That's too much. But, I mean, at the same rate, if we do get robo-umps, there's still going to be umpires on the field. They're just not going to be calling balls and strikes. So it's still going to have that human element of shit talking, and potentially getting tossed. So it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm anti-robot ump, but I'm also someone needs to sit these umpires down. They need to have accountability. Someone needs to sit them down and be like, hey, stop being so quick on the fucking trigger. Stop being such a bitch. Everything's okay.
So for the Dodgers this coming week, we got a 3-game series with the Athletics. Then we got a 3-game homestand with the Angels to close out the season. Really, I mean, it's just playing for the playoffs at this point. We want to keep the momentum going. It looks like we're going to lock up the number 1 seed in the National League. We still got to win a few more games to make sure we have number 1 throughout the World Series over the Rays. But yeah, the biggest thing is just want to continue this momentum, keep playing well. I mean, this is also a good test. The A's are one of the best teams in the American League, and we're handling them pretty well right now. So everything's looking just fine over here.
Now, you guys are coasting. It's going to be a little bit more rough for us.
Sure is.
And we're going to talk about how rough it is, but first we're going to get some positives and have some good times on the Cove with our good friend. All right, now to welcome into the Bench is Clear podcast, probably I'd say easily the most famous Giants fan, especially in the Oracle AT&T Park era, right next to the dog, McCovey Cove Dave. What's going on, my guy?
Hey, good to be here, Jesse. Good to be here.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you, man. And I know you're usually on the Cove, and we got you on the right time where, like, pretty much like the only time you're not on the Cove. 500 plus games. That's nutty. That's crazy. I mean, like, as far as like watching from like TV to the Cove, what's the difference there?
Well, I'm a big radio guy. I'm an older generation than you guys. So I grew up with the radio. So because I'm so comfortable listening to the radio, and we have great broadcasters on both radio and TV.
Yeah,
I'm really happy. I'm listening to a headset. I'm listening to it live, and I'm enjoying the game that we all love. And my imagination tells me what's happening. I can tell in their voices, how far that home run is hit by their inflections. You know. And when I hear them get excited, like hit deep to right, oh my God, I am like, I have Major Wood. I'm so excited.
Definitely.
So that broadcast isn't that much of a delay. It's pretty.
So
happening in real time.
It's really real time. This year they have multiple radio broadcasts. Some of them are delayed 10 seconds. So I know the station that is real time, but there's some that are delayed up to 7 to 10 seconds this year. And so we all know that a home run takes about 5 seconds to reach from the bat to where it lands. So the people that are listening to the wrong broadcast, that home run has already hit the water, and they're behind.
They don't stand a chance.
No, and so I've been a little bit mean because I have not always shared with these people. I figure if they're only at one time, I let them suffer a little. If I see
don't.
Games,
That's a
we don't play that here.
Right there. Yeah,
listen, you don't take anything easy. I don't care if the kid is 5. You do what you got. Like, for instance, if it's like a player throwing a ball or maybe in a foul ball, like, I give it to a kid. But if it's a home run ball, I'll punch a kid in the face, dude. I don't even care. Like, I've been going to bleachers my entire life, and I've never got a home run ball. So I don't care what's stopping me. Never. So
on board one day, bro.
Yeah. Well, Dave, the most important question when I think about me going on to the Cove, right? The one thing that pops into my mind is I'm going to have an Aroldis Chapman moment, and nature's going to call, and like, what the heck am I going to do? Do I just shit in the kayak? What have you ever had any of those moments or had that fear?
Yeah. So there's different things. There's 2 types of kayaks. There's kayaks where you're kind of, you just see your waist and you're kind of hidden. And those guys, they pee in a bottle. They bring a bottle or some kind of thing. They pee in the bottle. I have a kayak that is where I'm fully exposed. My legs, my groin, it's all showing. And so I basically reduce my liquids. But it's very hard because I may go to batting practice and the game. I might be out there for 7 hours without a number 1. So I have to be careful. I have
You got to be careful what you eat on the way to the game too. Then
yes,
there's no Taco Bell before the game.
No. So I basically, I don't know, camel it or whatever you want to call it, but I've never peed in my wetsuit one time in all those 500 plus games, and but I made it just barely back to shore. That's
got to be more an impressive stat than any of the home runs you have. Yes. Honestly, that you have not had like. Come on, like that's impressive.
No,
Go for it.
it truly is. I am surprised. Time in a few years is going to be a little harder. When you get older, like I am now, you can't camel it as much.
Yeah, I mean, if it's one, man, maybe I'll go with some PP pants, but I don't think I can handle the two. Is there an etiquette out there? Like, is it like, hey, or is it kind of like no matter what, nothing stops until someone has the ball, or is it kind of like, oh, someone's in the vicinity, someone has like rights to spots, or what?
No, there's no. So it's pretty much until someone controls the ball with their hand, it's anything.
Ooh.
Anything possible. So
if it's bobbling, you could just
yeah.
snatch
So
it.
I basically will attack people. Now, like for instance, I'm not going to hit someone at a 90-degree angle and like knock them off. I have a little bit of reputation, but if I'm chasing someone, I'm gaining ground. My kayak is the fastest. I will ram my kayak into their kayak, and they may go back and forth, but they end up missing the ball because they try to use their hands to balance themselves. But sometimes when I'm leaning over for a ball, I'm vulnerable, and kayaks have come in and hit me in the ribs, and one time broke a rib. It was sore for a month.
No.
Jeez.
Another one of my buddy who has some fake teeth here, he got hit so hard with a paddle that his teeth bridge got knocked out and it went in the drink. He lost them. So, it's all kind of inadvertent.
You gotta catch hands at that moment.
It's kind of inadvertent, but I basically give 100% for those 10 seconds of fight, and I will. People know that I'm coming. If they're ahead of me, they know I'm coming. And
if you're in the Cove, McCovey Cove Dave. Obviously you've seen the broadcast, and if Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krupko know who you are, you're doing something right. And I think you're like the what would they say, like in Hawaii, like you're like the top guy, like the locals only. That would be you.
Yeah. So we don't have like our own areas that we own. A lot of the people that come in newer are kind of respectful that if they'll see me, they don't want to get too close to me. It actually is a disadvantage for them to be too close to me, because I'm an expert paddle. I raced kayaks growing up. I can do everything with it. I have, even though I'm in my 60s, I'm the fastest kayaker by far. And
I'm the best there is.
It's partly because I have the fastest kayak. And so that really helps. And I can back paddle going backwards as fast as most guys can go forward. So I have some skills I built up over time.
That's so bizarre to me, because like when I go to games at Dodger Stadium for like batting practice and stuff, I usually sit in like section 305, and you can see like Moneyball Steve's out there in like 309, and you see people kind of crowd him. And in my head, I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Why would you want to be close to him? That's the whole reason I'm 2 sections over, is so I don't have to fight him or any of the ball hawks that are there all the time. Like, it gives me a better advantage. I don't get why people would want to be close to someone who's catching all the balls.
I think he's a magnet, maybe.
One thing that's different about McCovey Cove is, like, when you're at a stadium, most people stay in a certain area. They have their seat. In McCovey Cove, there's about 120 feet of prime territory. So, in fact, at any time you can move and you can go to the far end of that 120-foot area towards center, or you can go to the foul line. And so on each one of the players, I look at every home run they've hit for 5 years. I draw a scattergram, and I slowly try to be low key, but I go to where I think the ball most likely will land.
Right.
And if it's a real key hitter, I'll try to go there as soon as I can to take position, because usually people will give me some room if I'm already there. But I have to do it very low key,
Yeah. People are gonna want. They feel like you're there for a reason. I know, like in my head, if I was doing it, I would think the same thing. I would be like, I feel like especially if you're changing positions. Yeah, like I'm just gonna scoot over a little bit too. Maybe I'll just go like a little further, or try to.
And
try
that's
to play
actually
that card.
That is a good strategy. If they can get just far enough away from me where they own their territory,
you just happen the balls to hit over there.
You have to stay alert. And then there's little tricks of the trade that when a ball's hit, at a normal year, you have people on the top of the arcade wall of the stadium. It may be there's a ball hawk up there, Tyler's up there. guess what? He is going to try to run towards where the ball's exiting. And so if I see a 1 or 2 key ball hawks running a certain direction and that's not where I am, I start paddling before you even see the home run. And so I might be going 7 miles an hour in my kayak now, and then everybody sees it. But the guys that are stationary, the hardest part is the first few strokes. And so I have the advantage if I'm up to speed, you know?
Yeah.
Man, if we go up there next season, this is gonna be so hard. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be
if,
It's gonna be trying to remember how to kayak, because I've kayaked before, like a little bit.
10 years
you
ago.
know. Yeah. But like, yeah, it's gonna be that, and then trying to scale a ball. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
One of the hard parts is if you have to go backwards. People are used to going forwards, but when you got to go backwards and you haven't done it much, you can easily panic. And so I try to
turn over probably.
Yes, but it's all fun. It's all fun.
Yeah.
There's good camaraderie out there. All the ball hawks, we're all talking to each other, but we know who our competitors are and we know what skills they have. Some people have kayaks that are more maneuverable, that can turn quickly. My kayak is okay on maneuverability. It's really fast on a straight line. So
built for speed, not for comfort.
Yes. And mine's not comfortable because to make it fast, you got to make the kayak narrow, which means it's more tippy. So if you are beginning, no beginner would love, actually almost no one would love the kayak I'm in, because it's like a log rolling. It's like, it's a jet plane, but it is very tipsy.
Definitely. Yeah, you're gonna have to give us a lot of lowdowns on what kayaks we should get and all that kind of stuff. When you get a ball, you've like exchanged with players before, right? That wanted it back.
I almost meet with every player that hits me home run. Like all the Giants home runs I ever have are all signed by players, except for the last 3 that have happened recently. But the players know me, like say Panda, Pablo Sandoval, who actually the Giants just released. I have 8 of his home runs. I've met him many times, many times. And certain players, because of social media, I talked like Hunter Pence, who also kind of like Pan has just been dropped off. I've known him for a long time. And so, you know, I could message him. He directly follows me on Instagram. You know, he'll actually look at some of my photos. So I've gotten to know the players, and they recognize me, the key ones, like Brandon Belt.
That's great. What's like the coolest thing you've got? Because you guys, like, do you have to give one back in exchange? What's the coolest thing you've gotten?
The thing is, everybody's different, but I want my balls. I really want my balls. So when I got the 300th home run by Carlos Beltran, let's see if you can see this here.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah.
He hit his 300th home run as a Giant in 2011, and I actually caught his 298th as well. But I did give it back to him as a milestone. But like the Yastrzemski home run, maybe I'm an a-hole, but I did not give him this walk-off home run. It's the only walk-off home run I've ever gotten. And my son and wife are not so keen about the splashes, not as much as I am. So like when I get buried, I would like to have this in one hand and maybe my second, but maybe it'll be the Muncie home run in the other hand in the coffin. And so I want to take them with me. So, you know, I kind of feel like it's our souvenirs for spending a lot of time at games. But if I got a home run that's a first home run from a player, I'm going to give it back to him. But like this, even if Yastrzemski offered me $5,000, I wouldn't give it to him. I would. It's not. I would turn down 10,000. I think it's really not my time. I've spent so much trying to get these balls, and I use them as props when I tell stories. And so I have each one of these home runs, and they're signed by the player. And what I find is most of the time the players don't really want the ball unless it's a first home run or a really big, like a 300 type of home run.
Yeah. Because
that's the coolest thing you've gotten in return for those, though.
So, you know, my buddies basically sold a lot of their balls, you know, Barry Bonds balls up to $20,000.
Oh, wow.
a ball, but I'm not doing it for money because but I've, like on the Beltron one, I gave him the ball and he signed another ball and gave me a bat, but I'm not really into the bat and stuff. What I'm most interested with the player is actually to do a photo with them, shoulder to shoulder. And so that's what I try to do now. Like when I get a home run with a Panda, I've taken a picture of the sign ball with us shoulder to shoulder, or doing something kind of fun. And then I'm collecting those for my man cave. And so I really appreciate like the photos, you know?
Definitely.
Have you ever caught anyone's first career home run?
I haven't caught a first career surprise. I've gotten 53 home runs, but not a first career. And I've not caught a first career. I've not even caught a grand slam. If you think of 53 home runs and not one grand slam, but I think there's about one grand slam every 50 home runs. So I guess I'm due.
I was going to say next, maybe by the end of this season, who knows?
Yeah. Certain times, like I look at all these milestones, like back in 2013, I checked with the Giants and they'd hit 950 home runs at AT&T Park, now Oracle Park. And so the next year I started counting them down, 951, 952, 953. And finally it got to 999. I have about a 1 in 20 chance of getting a home run every game I go to. If one's hit, I have a 1 in 20 because 9% of the balls that are hit in the park bounce into the water. And then when I'm there, I get 70% of the home runs that make it to the Cove. So 7 times 9, I have a 6% chance. Well, anyhow, Brandon Belt, he hit the 1,000th home run and I got it. It was splashed at 68. So I'd actually been following that stat for 9 months. 9 months. And like, for instance, Brandon Belt is very close to his 1,000th career hit. He was 5 away going into tonight's game. Later this week, he's probably going to be close or hitting that 1,000th hit.
Yeah.
I'll be thinking that that'll make me paddle that much faster.
Yeah, exactly. You might be able to get that milestone. That's crazy.
Yes.
Is there any stories on the Cove that like are like maybe like your favorite story, something funny that's happened that has nothing to do with home runs?
Oh my gosh. There's just so many great stories in McCovey Cove. God, what would be the best story? We've had I'll mention a few things. I mean, one time we had a dog get a splash hit that was pretty cool. So
okay.
I'm the historian for McCovey Cove, so I keep track of everything unusual. One dog almost got 2 home runs. He got a early Giants home run from a guy named Philippe Crespo, and he almost got a Barry Bonds and a kayak friend cut off that dog at the last second to keep the dog from getting a second home run. And that was pretty exciting. There's a lot of craziness that happens in McCovey Cove. Well, I'm kind of seriously doing a ball hawk thing. Other people, it's a party situation, drinking, everything you can imagine, wild things.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, some people are just totally they drank all day long there and they don't even know what's going on at the game. And I'm waiting someday for someone to get hit. Actually, one guy got hit about a month ago, but it hit him in the arm. But someone might get hit in the head someday. But
yeah, that'd be kind of like it's funny to root for because I'm like that would be really funny, but at the same time that would hurt.
Yeah,
that might break some bones.
It happened to me last season. Well, not in the head, but during BP, some guy he went to get one and kind of cut me off, so he's blocking my view and just completely missed it. And the ball just hit me square in the knee and didn't even hit this guy's glove. And I was like, ow, like that kind of hurt. Like, what the fuck? And then the next time the ball was coming, etiquette went out the window and I put my glove over his shoulder, which I would never typically do. And he got pissed off and was like, oh, kind of wanted to fight or whatever. And I was like, well, if you would have caught the one before, then I wouldn't have done that. But you can't catch the ball. So etiquette kind of goes out the window.
One of my proud moments was we had a thunderstorm, which is rare for San Francisco, and lightning bolts were coming down, and they delayed the game for 2.5 hours. And all my competitive friends, they all went home because the lighting was scary. When we're out in the cove, you're worried you're going to get zapped.
Yeah, I would have gone home too.
And so I went to my car and I actually slept for like an hour and a half. And then I came out when they restarted the game at 10:45, and they'd only stopped the game in the first inning. So it had 8 innings to play. And so at 10:45, they restarted the game. The game went to 2:10 a.m. And by the end of the game, there were only a couple hundred people inside the park, and I was still in McCovey Cove. And that night, a splash hit was hit by Denard Span out there, and the broadcaster said, "Oh, no one's going to get it." And I had a long paddle, and then all of a sudden, I came right on the TV screen and grabbed the ball. And Krupp and Kive said, "Oh, he's manning his post," and I was, and I stayed at 1:45. I saw someone waving to me at the top of the wall. And it turned out to be the ESPN reporter, and they said, McCovey Cove Dave, manning his spot at 1:45 a.m.
All things are right in the world.
It was a good fun thing, and I think the fact that I got a splash hit, that gave me the energy to stay awake till past 2 a.m.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely, yeah. That'll set a fire in you. To talk a little bit about this season, I mean, technically, we're a game under 500, and we're winning right now, 1-2. And I like to – we're actually undefeated when we're recording podcasts, by the way. So we're just going to pretend the game's over, okay? Giants won. They're at 500. You just got to have confidence.
Yeah.
What were you expecting this year? Were you expecting, like, them to be a mid-tier team like they are, or were you expecting kind of a dumpster fire?
So I actually believe in Farhan, and – the Giants had the worst record in baseball in 2017, tied with the Detroit Tigers. But last year was a significant upbeat. I don't know if we ended up 10 games or 12 games, whatever it was, below 500. But you already saw that Farhan was improving our farm system dramatically, and he was finding players for almost nothing. Yastrzemski, Dickerson, we pay nothing for those guys.
Lottery tickets,
and they turn out to be guys that are productive players on our team.
Oh, yeah.
And so I actually, if you'd asked me at the beginning of the season, I would have said 500. I would have said in progress over this year. But we still, when you look at somebody like the Dodgers, and all their guys seem like they're all-star players, or the capability of, we don't have that pedigree and names. But I think if the Giants end up at 500 this year, and they're going to be around 500, that is going to be a feather in the cap of Farhan as far as improvement. And I do believe in a couple years, as these farm system guys that we've got in there, Hunter Bishop, et cetera, come on, they're going to take the Giants to be a 500-plus team. But we have a long way to go against the Dodgers. I mean, look at the Dodgers. What are they, like 700 this year? And is it 7 or 8 years that they've won the division?
We don't have to talk about that, Dave.
I know.
If we win tonight, it'll be the 8th division title, which at this point, I don't care. Just win a World Series. I don't have to talk about division titles.
Yeah. I'm on the same boat with you. I said, we had predictions before the season, of course, and mine was that we're going to compete for the wild card. I didn't want to go out and say that we were going to get it. And this was before the expansion was even announced, which technically, if the expansion wasn't going on, the second wild card team is like a game under, would have been like, I think it's the Cardinals, and they're like 1 game over 500. So like we're still there. You know what I'm saying? So like technically I was right. So I'm more of like an optimist. I'm like, I really just because I really want to see a winning team and I want them to just be in the conversation. But yeah, I think this team can do it. I think Farhan has done a great job of adding depth and adding guys. I think he has those guys that are his specialty of, like the Max Muncies and the Chris Taylors. Now we have the Yastrzemskis and Alex Dickersons and Mauricio Dubon, that sort of thing. We're just missing our star players. I feel like we have the depth right now, but we have to get either Bart has to be the guy that's, supposed to be promised, which it's really early. You can't judge him, too much what he's done right now. The Marco Lucianos, and maybe even seeing how good the farm system is, maybe we can get a free agent, who knows? But I feel like we're a lot closer than people gave us credit for, how they said that we're not going to be a good team or a postseason team for at least 3 or 4 years. I've not been on that bandwagon. I understand it's a possibility, but I've not been on that bandwagon. If you had to put money, like right, if you had to make a bet that the Giants were gonna make the postseason this year, how much would you put down on it?
I think right now it's kind of 50-50. It's 50-50, honestly, because I believe they have 7 more games. I believe they need to win 4 games. If they win 4 games, they get it. But I think it's 50-50. It could go either way.
If you're counting tonight as an automatic win in the books, yeah, I say 4 more. I think they need to win 3 versus Colorado and then hopefully do a split with the Padres.
Yeah.
So you guys are kind of in a weird position where you have Cincinnati and Milwaukee playing each other right now, which is what you don't want.
Exactly. So you want them to stay, yeah.
Yeah, but then I don't know if you saw Philly lost a doubleheader today.
Yes.
So I've
helped you guys.
Yes.
I actually watched those games when I got off of work.
I think if the Giants end up 1 game above 500, that they will grab a wild card. I think if they end up at 500 for the year, then they're going to need they'll need some luck. But 1 game ahead of 500, I think they're going to grab a spot. And wouldn't it be nice if they were 8th and the Dodgers won? They had
Nope, absolutely not.
Rivalry?
I would love it because,
like we've been saying, God that doesn't happen.
If they lose, okay, it's great that they were there. You know what I mean? The Dodgers lose, dude, you can't even show your face.
I need
take
Phillies,
next season off.
I need the Phillies to get that 8th spot. The Phillies are the team I feel most comfortable playing.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. Well, we appreciate you coming on, man, and giving us your time. We do what we like to call slow pitch questions because they're not exactly rapid fire because we're going to check you if you come out of pocket. Okay, you ready?
You bet.
Awesome. So, favorite high school jam?
Oh, my music?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, was that not?
So I am an oldie. So I'm Chicago. I'm basically class of 1974. So
okay,
Chicago.
Like a specific song, like you're like in your what was that, like 10th, 11th grade, McCovey Cove Dave, in his I'm not trying to be disrespectful now.
Yeah.
You got a Walkman back then?
Oh yeah, we had no Walkmans back then. So basically, back in the 70s, you had to listen to the radio, and the radio stations were geared toward playing like top 40. So like
what would get you jazzed when that song came on? You were like, okay, this is my stuff right here.
Yeah. So I also liked Kool and the Gang. I'm basically from an area, so I like good dance music. So Kool and the Gang group, that all their dance songs are what I really liked. I'm really an East Bay, Oakland boy. You're from Oakland here, so I am not pedigree and wine over at the Giants game. I am Boogeyman Dave.
You got
here,
groove and some soul. Okay.
Yeah. So I actually
Dave.
I like the Detroit groups more. I said Chicago, but I like good dance music, really, from a lot of the Detroit names of the 70s.
Awesome. What's your go-to dessert?
Oh my gosh, it's basically it's almond ice cream with almonds inside it, and there's one ice cream place in Oakland called Fenton's, and they make a phenomenal toasted almond ice cream. So when I'm in McCovey Cove, I always bring a couple hundred dried almonds, and so I'm always eating almonds day and night.
Okay,
but I like sweet almonds for dessert.
Awesome.
Toasted almond ice cream.
Favorite go-to place to eat out?
Boy, this year has been a lot harder because we haven't been able to go out to places.
In the before times.
Yes. So
in the old days.
Yes. I like to try lots of different places, and my absolute favorite, actually, I'm really probably more of a baseball food guy. So
City Stadium food.
Right. So like when I'm at the Giants game, I'm basically eating their crab sandwich. So at McCovey Cove, we have no food options, but occasionally I get people to bring food out to me. And so when I get a crab sandwich, I've scored.
Okay. Well, next time I go to a game, I'll make sure to text you, and I'll bring you some food. If awesome. if you can have your own splash hit, who would you want it to be off of?
Gosh, I would love to hit one off Kershaw. That would be if I could do it. I was in a home run derby about 10 years ago, and fans like me got to hit balls in the park. I unfortunately didn't hit a home run in the 8 pitches I had, but I hit a few into the outfield, which I felt pretty good about. And in real life, I have caught home runs that have been pitched by guys that have 5 different pitchers that have done new hitters. Like I caught a home run that Verlander pitched, and he pitched it to Matt Olson of the A's, and I caught it in the air in bright sun. So I've had the thrill of catching or grabbing off big no name or big name pitchers. But if Verlander would be one, Kershaw, those type of guys.
So
That's
if
great.
you,
Well,
as a ball hawk, if you could catch any home run on the fly from any player in Major League Baseball, who would it be?
Oh gosh, and I've come. It would be one of the big name guys. I almost caught a Trout home run last year, and that would have been an epic one. It ended up going over my head a little bit, and then it bounced back over my head to someone else. But that would be a very special one. I like players that have put in their dues. So guys like Pujols that are probably old guys to you guys, the fact that he has 661 home runs,
just it
would be special to me. But when I go over to Oakland A's games, I'm looking at some of these players that are after different milestones, and it excites me to try to catch them. And most of the time, it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But like I caught an Altuve home run, which was special to me. He's not having a great year this year, but I came to an Astro game and I was trying to get it, and that ball came right to me, and I caught it at an A's game, and it was pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
All right, and lastly, we'll go with what would be your walk-up song?
Oh my gosh! So that is a really kind of a there's a song called Happy Boy, and that would be it, because I'm a pretty happy guy, and that song gets me up. So when I go to Giants games, I play this Happy Boy song, and that would be my song.
Awesome. Well, Dave, thank you so much for coming on, man. We're definitely have to go out there. Like I said, crab sandwich on me. Next time I go to a game, I'll make sure to drop one off to you. And if you come out to LA next time, man, come down. We'll I'm not sure if you drink, but I'll buy you a beer or a hot dog, whatever, and
I love it.
We'll hang out.
I look forward to it. We'll do it, and so we'll stay in contact. Hopefully next year we're going to be inside parks and having fun.
Yeah, hopefully.
For sure.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, Jesse. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. This episode has been brought to you by Renovation Candle Company, where all Benches Cleared podcast listeners can receive 20% off their entire order when they use promo code BENCHES at checkout.
Yeah, the only thing illegal here is you guys not taking the opportunity to save 20% on your candles. So, yeah, buy some fucking candles, please, so I can eat. Guess that's it. Well, thank you guys so much. Make sure to be following us on Twitter, Benches Cleared B, and on Instagram, Benches Cleared Podcast. And we will see you guys next week. Fuck Aubrey Huff.